Alright, so I've covered the gameplay. But what about everything else? In Midnight Suns, the non-gameplay parts are the heart of the experience. And for better or worse, it's one hell of a ride.
Tony, that's Carol and Dr. Spooky over there. Here to help.
The game kicks off with a kind of grand evil scheme you'd expect. Hydra, the modern Nazis of Marvel, are in the process of reviving Lilith, the mother of demons. As foretold by the prophecy of the Midnight Sun, she's destined to awake the elder god Chthon, who, like any self-respecting evil god, plans to dominate the world or some such. The one destined to stand in her way, that'll be us, the Hunter, Lilith's own child, also dragged back from the dead to stop Mother from unleashing hell on Earth. To back us up, a team has been forged, bearing the appropriate title, the Midnight Suns. To tell you the truth, my first taste of this story wasn't exactly awe-inspiring. The opening hours of story, and particularly dialogue, felt, well, cringe is pretty much the only word for it. The dialogue comes off like a low-budget MCU parody, absolutely saturated with cheap one-liners and a desperate attempt to be quippy.
Tony, I've been noticing a recurring gamma spike.
You see, this is why you shouldn't eat spicy food, Bruce.
We are talking almost, is he behind me? Levels of writing.
Hammer, stealth, not strength.
Yeah, I don't do stealth.
Imagine a serious moment of plot introduction. And here comes the Office reference.
Spiritual identity theft is no laughing matter.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
Look, I love a good reference as much as the next guy, but there is a place and a time for it.
Got it. Don't cross the streams.
Never do.
Don't cross the streams.
Thankfully, this obsession with pop culture gags and forced quips does die down as the story gets rolling.
Hey, I'm walking here.
As things progress, the writing slowly finds its feet, getting more serious, and characters start acting like actual people instead of joke dispensing machines.
Even now, I only listen at meaningful times, when I wish to remember the moment. There are more of those now, but not enough to outweigh the days I want to forget.
And while pop culture references never vanish entirely, this is a Marvel comic game after all, they stop feeling like the script is trying to collect Reddit upvotes in real time.
So, the first thing you need to know, the glowing briefcase is a metaphor.
Once you push past that initial awkwardness, the plot really sinks its teeth in, and the prologue alone does a great job of establishing how dire the situation is. Right off the bat, Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, gone, overrun by demons. The Scarlet Witch, captured, corrupted and turned against us. No problem, you might think. We still have Avengers Tower, the pinnacle of Stark tech and defenses. Okay, but surely we have the Hulk, the strongest hero there is.
Couldn't have done it without you, Tony.
Did I miss something?
He is lost to us, fallen to my mother's corruption.
Yeah. At this point, the only reasonable assessment is we are f***ed. It's an undeniably effective way to establish just how high the stakes are, with our heroes beaten down and scrambling from moment one.
Banner has betrayed us and the tower has fallen. As Lilith rises, we fall.
Now let's turn our attention to the protagonist, Hunter. our window into this chaotic world. They are the chosen one, the key to salvation. And yet, playing as a hunter often feels like navigating a charisma vacuum. The voice acting is, to put it mildly, aggressively bland.
Do not worry, Captain. I will locate and alert her of the team's needs.
It's not that the performance is actively bad, it's just flat, emotionless, monotone.
Of everything. Much of this world is familiar to me. I know it from my dreams.
The female hunter is clearly the canon choice, based on all the marketing. But you can also play as a male hunter, voiced by the immensely talented Matthew Mercer, a man behind Leon Kennedy, Cole Cassidy and Jotaro Kujo.
It's high noon. Draw!
That's him. And even he sounds like he's reading IKEA assembly instructions in this one.
I know those symbols from the time of the first hunt. That glyph means barrier. That one, almighty. Something, something. Gods and demons.
So a spooky bad guy crate.
Very spooky. Designed to contain powerful magic.
My theory is that this was a deliberate choice, aiming to make Hunter a neutral canvas for player role-playing. A bland reaction, in theory, fits any moral choice. But what actually happens is you end up playing as a wet noodle.
Yes, Agatha, this path pleases me. I am confident that the only thing that can defeat darkness is the blinding brilliance of light.
Whether you're making a joke, issuing a threat, or having a heartfelt conversation, all is delivered with the same tepid, uninspired energy.
Yes. What you said. All those things, absolutely. And also, the healing factor.
That's her joking and being incredibly silly and cheeky. Can you feel it? Me neither. You might catch a fleeting glimpse of actual emotion, a flicker of life in the performance, maybe 10% of the time.
Relax, Tony. I simply jest. Just press that forsaken restart button already. Oh my god, Nico, what are you doing?
The other 90% is just this.
An arcane key. Lost? Bloodgate. Of death? Someone? Wonder what? Love?
Psychomantis.
This blandness from our hero, unfortunately, shines a spotlight on how hit or miss the voice acting is across the board.
If this is a sign of what Hydra is after, I fear we are all in grave danger.
My offer still stands. I could fly the thing up and nuke it in orbit. Only way to be sure.
Or we could open it, Tony, and perhaps use the mystical energies I sense inside to our advantage.
The cast is packed with incredible actors, but the weird part is that some of these accomplished actors sound less alive here than when they've played the exact same characters elsewhere.
Oh, okay, well, that's not too shabby. You know, I have something like that over in R&D and that thing. And, you know, you don't even have a pool here. We're safe. I'm canned beef, you're 17th century jerky, and Parker's full of spider meat.
Sometimes even saying similar lines.
That's the boost I needed. Just the boost I needed.
Even Yuri Lowenthal, who is Spider-Man to me, doesn't quite hit the same spark and wit he brings to the Insomnia games.
Do you need money?
No, I mean, I'm a little behind on my rent, but no, I'm fine.
Girl problems again, huh?
What? No, that's crazy. Thank me? For what? And by the way, does this thanks also involve pizza? I have to say, battling Eddie always works up the appetite.
It's just a little flatter. Again, not bad, but I've heard him and others be so much better. It's a stark reminder that amazing voice actors don't perform in a vacuum. Direction, production quality and all that crucial behind-the-scene work are absolutely paramount. That said, when a performance hits, it hits.
Good afternoon, Demo Venom! Here's a special request from all of New York to you, our slobbiest invaders since Thanos.
Blade, for example, sounds incredibly cool, totally nailing the essence of the Daywalker.
No offense, this isn't exactly friendly neighborhood stuff. Not sure your contacts will be much help. If shit happens, shit happens.
Captain America is consistently solid.
Black Widow invoked the "this is why we can't have nice things" rule and banned book clubs from meeting at the tower.
And Wolverine.
You got one thing right today, Sabretooth. Heads are definitely about to roll.
No notes, Bob. This same inconsistency seeps into the visuals. There's this weird sense of sameness. Characters like Wolverine and Captain America seem to have the exact same body type and height. Logan, the famously short, angry Canadian brawler, shouldn't be built like Steve Rogers, the super soldier. Where characters do find distinction is in their costumed appearances. Blade, again, looks every bit the badass.
Your wardrobe is the height of style.
Part of the appeal of the lifestyle is the style.
Shades? Check. Sleek long coat? Check.
Venom, when he appears, is suitably menacing and monstrous. Most are generally what you'd expect. Captain America, Spider-Man and Iron Man look pretty standard, which is perfectly fine. But some designs just didn't resonate. Magic's main outfit for me was a bit of a letdown, especially when you've seen how awesome she can look. And generally, even though the Sun's designs aren't bad at all, looking at Marvel rivals, you can realize how much more daring Midnight Suns could have been with its visual identity. A bit of a saving grace comes in the form of unlockable skins. Seeing Wolverine in his classic X-Men yellow and blue, or a better alternative for Captain Marvel. This can genuinely make a character look way cooler and add some needed visual punch. And now, an obligatory rant. Putting cosmetic skins up for sale with real money in a full-price single-player game? It's predatory, out of place, and frankly, gross. Yes, they're only cosmetic and have zero impact on gameplay, which is the absolute bare minimum they could do if they're going to pull this crap. But I'd really rather not see such things at all. Just give us the cool stuff without shaking us down like it's a mobile gacha game. Please. Let's steer back to the narrative, and specifically how it handles player choice. The game is built around a light and dark morality system, which sounds like it should have massive consequences. You'd be forgiven for thinking your choices will alter relationships, open up new paths, or even change the ending of the game.
No, Hunter, you take a moment. I've got clarity on this. Thank you.
In reality, the grand reward for dedicating yourself to one alignment is a passive combat ability, and if you max it out, you get a cosmetic outfit. And that's pretty much it. These choices are ultimately just flavor text, with almost zero impact on anything. This lack of genuine player agency becomes acutely frustrating during big story moments. When one of the heroes decides to go a bit off the rails, cooks up a plan that screws over half the team, and is about to do something obviously dangerous behind everyone's back, you, as the hunter and supposed leader, can't do a damn thing. No meaningful dialogue options, no intervention, no telling the Avengers, hey, this kid is about to jeopardize the entire mission. You're just alone for the ride.
This is how Atlantis sank.
The characters themselves, for the most part, are pretty engaging. Most of them are reasonably well developed. I understood their motivations, their flaws, and what drives them. Even when they are not standout personalities, they are not badly written.
You cannot flee destiny. You cannot hide from me.
Still, some characters clearly matter more than others. If you were to, say, completely remove Captain Marvel, Wolverine, or even Blade from the game, narratively, not much would change. They add great flavor and fun, but they're not really holding up the plot.
Relax. We're close.
You said that after your last sniff.
Now I gotta talk about two characters whose stories really stood out to me, and not in a good way. First up is Nico Minoru. Initially, I really liked her. She's fun, her voice acting is good, her looks and powers are cool and unique, and she brought some edge to the team.
Just try and not get eliminated, Hunter.
But over time, that edge becomes a grind. She's constantly complaining, picking fights, and acting like everyone else is an idiot. Even Hunter, who she supposedly sees as a friend and leader.
Yeah, trying to save our friend. The one you all abandoned.
No, the one we are all trying to save, along with the rest of the planet.
Nico, we are all supposed to be working together.
Well, maybe this working together stuff doesn't always, work out.
This culminates in her essentially blackmailing Hunter into joining her dangerous, ill-advised, and morally questionable plan.
What brave soul has volunteered to make such a sacrifice?
You.
Nico, I did no such thing.
If you don't do it, I will, and then you'll have my demise on your hands. And I know you're not gonna let that happen, so welcome aboard, Hunter.
Then, of course, it works out perfectly, so she never faces any consequences.
I know what we should do. Celebrate.
That whole arc left a bad taste in my mouth. Especially since, again, you have zero power to actually challenge her or change anything.
Happens, so welcome aboard, Hunter.
When is this happening?
And then there's Caretaker. She is supposed to be this ancient, wise mentor, Hunter's adoptive mother. But instead of that, she comes off as overprotective, controlling, and deeply distrustful.
This is the last I want to hear of such an ill-advised plan.
Frequently lying and withholding critical information, to the point you must go behind her back to achieve things.
She will change her mind.
No, she won't. We're going to have to go sneaking around behind her back again if we want to get anything done. And we shouldn't have to do that.
It feels like she was written to be flawed, but ultimately lovable authority figure. Maybe with an overarching redemption arc. But somewhere along the way, the writing veered too far. There's no redemption.
I care too much about the Sons to expose them to that kind of danger. It wasn't to deceive the team. It was to protect them.
Yet, confusingly, she also has these brief moments where she opens up, apologizes, and shows vulnerability.
This isn't easy for me to say, but I'm sorry for ever doubting her.
I genuinely don't think the devs intended for players to dislike her this much, but dislike her we did.
I am a complete and utter fool.
Marvel's Midnight Suns story, design and world building are a fascinating study in contrasts. Intriguing stakes undermined by cringy writing.
Bad guy crate, full of bad guy stuff.
A killer cast alongside a wet noodle protagonist.
You never lost your true power, Doctor.
A supposed emphasis on choice with barely any real player agency. It's all over the place. And yet, despite all its awkwardness, I still found moments where it really worked, where the atmosphere hit, voices clicked, and the story beat actually carried weight.
Hello, Mother.
Greatness is almost there, but almost does a lot of heavy lifting. It's a mystery to me how this slice ended up being over 20 minutes long, but I managed to get it done just in time. Let's hope I can pull it off again for the next one, because believe it or not, I'm still not done with this game. There's one more topic I need to sink my teeth into, mostly vampires, with a Y. If you enjoyed the video, a subscribe, like or comment would be an amazing way to show your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Clever. I like it more now. And that's where we'll call it for tonight.